Hi, my name's Ashley Mears, and I'd like to talk a little bit about some of my findings from my new book, Pricing Beauty, The Making of a Fashion Model. And one question that I get is a conclusion from the book, in which I state that modeling is a bad job, which is counterintuitive because most people think that modeling is a great job. It's incredibly glamorous and most people want to do the work. But the reason that modeling has this larger image that it is glamorous and desirable kind of work is because we don't actually get to see what happens behind the scenes, and we don't give much thought to the labor structure of modeling. In other words, we don't think much about modeling as a labor market. But when you look at modeling as a labor market, you're struck by a few things. First, there's extreme inequality. Second, there's an enormous amount of uncertainty. And third, there's high debt. So on the first point, economists would call fashion modeling a winner-take-all kind of market in which you have a handful of people at the top of the hierarchy making very visible, very lucrative rewards, while the bulk of people are barely scraping by and not making very much at all. So you've got a huge pile of losers, if you will, on the base. So you have this extreme inequality, and we only tend to see in the public image those at the top of the hierarchy, the Giselles or the Kate Mosses, and we don't get to see the base, the kind of more common labor conditions at the base. What separates the winners from the losers in this kind of a market structure is unknown. It's incredibly uncertain and unpredictable for models and for their agents to determine who it is that is going to rise to the pack. There's an enormous amount of uncertainty. They don't know if their look is going to catch on or when or how much they will be paid for it. Third, there's an enormous amount of debt in the market. So it's an expensive job. When models sign up to an agency, there are startup costs ranging from the cost of pictures, if she's a foreign model, her visa, her apartment, her pocket money. This can add up, in some cases I documented, upwards of $15,000. So models start their careers in the red, where they have to pay back this debt to their agencies. And then finally, modeling is a bad job because it is a form of freelance labor or non-standard employment in which models don't work for a salary. Technically, they work for themselves. They're independent contractors. This means there's an enormous amount of risk that gets shuffled onto the model's individual shoulders, so she has to mitigate the uncertainty of work herself. This means that models don't have collective bargaining rights. They're a very globally dispersed kind of market. They also don't have benefits like health insurance or a retirement package. So there's an enormous amount of uncertainty and precariousness that models have to deal with individually. So it turns out that we can actually learn a lot about models when we look at it as a labor market and we draw our attention to these broader changes that I argue are not just a problem in the fashion market or in culture industries, but are also something that this freelance labor or non-standard employment is spreading out across other sectors of the labor market, including white-collar work.